Good evening, everyone. We'll begin in just a few minutes. So if you need any props, you might want to get your block, or if you need a strap, you can also use your strap, or maybe even a tie, which might help you when you're reaching, trying to make a bind, or even reaching for your toes when your leg is extended. So some of those props can come in pretty handy to give you a deeper stretch. So we're going to begin we're going to come to a nice comfortable position sitting at the middle of your mat. So we want to begin with easy pose. So it's just where your legs are crossed. If you have the flexibility, you can always take half lotus by taking one foot up and bringing the heel into the opposite hip. Or if you're very flexible, maybe you can take full lotus, bringing the other foot up into the opposite hip so that you'll be sitting up nice and tall. But not everybody has that flexibility, so just come into easy pose, which just the legs are relaxed and crossed in front of you. And just rock yourself side to side, finding that comfortable seat. Once you feel that you're very comfortable, let your hands come to rest gently onto your knees. And then let your eyes close. So as we know, it's very important to bring ourselves into the present moment when we practice. And trying to keep that mind just focused on our breath, allowing ourselves not to get distracted by the thoughts that may occur as we practice this evening. And if something feels too challenging, sometimes our mind starts to go into that negative part where we start to say, this is too hard, I shouldn't even do this. Instead, just say, I'm able to do this much. This is where I can go. And just accept that and then stay there. So if you're super flexible, you'll have the ability to go deeper into the poses. But everybody wants to find their special place where they're okay and where they can just reside in the pose and then stay there comfortably for a few breaths. So it may vary practice to practice. It may vary side to side. So we're going to just sit up tall, placing your hands onto the knees, and continue to let your spine be nice and straight and let your breath just flow in naturally in and out through the back of the throat. So you want to start to find eventually that ujjayi breath, and that breath makes the sound of the ocean wave as it flows in and out through the back of your throat. And start to connect to the way that breath is flowing, the way it sounds. And just notice if you're tightening any muscles, tightening up your shoulders, or tensing anything in your body. And if you notice that you are, just try to relax those areas that you are aware of that are tight. And then slowly let your eyes open. And we're going to begin just to circle the body around. So you want to take your rib cage around your hips, going in one direction, nice and slow. Keep your navel drawn into the back of the spine. You want to circle it around. And then once you come forward, reverse your circle, go the opposite direction. And you may notice that you have more range on one side than you do on the other. So just observing how you're feeling from one side to the other without really drawing any judgment to it, just noticing. And then come back to center and just switch out the leg. So if your right leg's in front, switch it with the left leg going in front, or if the left leg's in front, switch it out with the right going in front. And then taking it around. And just notice how it feels when you switch out the leg. When you circle it one way, is it the same sensation or feeling, or is it slightly different? So really paying attention to what we experience is so important, because then we can grow from that place. And then once you come forward, let's circle it around going the opposite way. So you may notice some subtle difference, you may notice some very obvious difference, or you may not notice much of a difference at all. And then come back to center, and let's take both arms, extend them all the way up, We're going to reach for the opposite wrist with holding onto your, where your left hand is going to hold onto your right wrist. And you're going to push the heel of your hand up to the ceiling, keep your navel drawn in, and really stretch up as if you're trying to press your palm print up to the ceiling. Pull the shoulders down, squeeze your belly into the back of the spine. Try not to overarch the back. And then release both arms down, taking both arms up, switching it out now. Right hand is going to hold to the left wrist, and the palm turns up, and push the palm up, and really make sure that you're feeling your shoulders pulling down, and try not to round your back and hunch through the shoulders and then into the neck. So pull the shoulders down and get that stretch. And then release, take both arms all the way down, sweep both arms out to the side, lift them up, inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward. And we're going to come right into a tabletop position. So however you can get there, come on to all fours, keeping your palms directly under your shoulders and knees under your hips. And let's start to warm up the back by coming into cat and cow. So we're going to begin with cow pose. Curl your toes and let your tailbone lift towards the ceiling as you pull your belly towards the mat, chest forward, and lift your head. And then let your toes go flat as you exhale. Draw the navel into the back of the spine, round the whole back, and then take the chin to the chest. Curl the toes and begin your inhale, lifting up, head up last. And your exhale flattens the toes and rounds through the lower back first, and upper back, and chin to chest. Do 2 more on your own, and if you're comfortable, close your eyes and feel and notice where you're experiencing that stretch in your body. So we'll finish up as we round back the second time into our cat pose. So pulling the chin into the chest. You're going to come back to a neutral spine. Curl your toes. Take your hands just slightly further forward. We're going to raise up into down dog. Lifting the knees, taking the tailbone up, and press through the heels. Very slowly, just press one heel down and bend the opposite leg. Let's hold it here for about 3 counts. Really feel the stretch entering into that calf muscle. And from here, switch it out, other side, opposite leg bends, and pressing down through that heel to really feel the stretch through that calf muscle. And then from here, lift way up onto all 10 toes, onto the ball mounds of your feet, and push your chest in closer towards your side. Start to lower your heels towards the floor and walk your hands to your feet. So as you come all the way to the back of the mat, flatten the feet to the floor, bend your knees as much as you need to. Now let's take the left hand right in between the feet. So you want to keep about a hip distance between the feet. If you need your block, you can always bring the block there. And you want to try and keep your back nice and long. Take an inhale and raise your right arm all the way up. So if you're using your block, it will come right in between your hands, right in between your feet, I'm sorry. And you want to try and lengthen out and open your chest. And stretching all the way up. And then return that hand down, the right hand down, switching it out, left leg, left arm lifts up. So if you can bring your hand down to the floor, maybe you'll find you can get a little more stretch. And reaching up, looking towards the thumb. And then bring both that left hand down. And we're going to slowly walk your hands back to the front of your mat as you return back into your down dog. And pressing the head down towards the floor, pushing through the heel. Let's take our left leg, lift it way up to the ceiling. And as you do, bend your left leg at the knee and turn your left hip up to the ceiling. But make sure that you're not leaning over into the right side of your body. So you want to really push your right heel down and let that left knee lift up. And then from here, lower that leg down, and we'll take it up with the right leg now lifting up. Push the mat away, pull the belly in, straighten that leg, and bend the left leg at the knee. The right leg at the knee, and let that right heel come toward your left buttock, and try not to lean to the left side. Just try to turn both shoulders so that they're square towards the mat. And straighten the leg and lower the foot down. From here, take your left leg, lift it all the way up. We're going to lunge that left foot in between the hands. So if you can't get it right in between the hands, you can wiggle it in or use your left hand to help it. And then we're going to turn to the right side of your mat, the long edge of your mat. And as you do, you're going to turn both toes so that they're facing completely to that long edge of the mat. So not to the corners, but to the long edge. If your hands can't stay on the floor without bending your legs, bring your hands onto your block and keep your legs nice and straight. Pull your belly into the back of the spine, so you want to really feel you're tucking your tailbone under. And then just start to fold down as far as you can go without rounding your back. Pull your shoulders back away from the ears and feel that deep sensation opening into the hamstring. And breathe here. And let your head just lower down towards the mat. And maybe your elbows can actually touch, or your forearms can touch, and you're stretching through your hamstring. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. One more deep inhale and exhale. And then from here, if your forearms are on the floor, lift them up. And you're going to take the right hand right underneath your nose. And send your left arm all the way up to the ceiling. Stretch it up towards the ceiling and look up at your left thumb. So similar to what we did when our legs were just hip distance apart, now they're much wider. And then if you're able to, maybe wrap that left hand around and find the right thigh or the right hip. Pay attention to what you're experiencing in your left shoulder. So if it doesn't feel good to wrap the arm around, keep the arm lifted, or maybe just keep it resting on your lower back. And then return that left hand right where your right hand is, keeping both legs straight. Remember, you can always use your block. The right arm goes up. So you want to turn that chest, square the hips towards the mat, look up towards your right thumb. Nice deep breath. Both legs should be straight here. And take an inhale and exhale. Bring that right hand down to the floor. And from here, take both hands onto your hips. Pull your belly in, tuck your tail under, lengthen your spine, squeeze your shoulder blades together, elbows pull together, hinge from your hips, and slowly raise yourself up. Take a little bit of a back bend here, and come back to center. So from here, toes are still facing towards the long end of your mat. Both arms lift all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale. And as you exhale, interlace your fingers and turn your palms up to the ceiling. So find your belly button pulling into the back of the spine, your tailbone pressing towards the mat. So from here, we're going to turn to the right side, turning towards the right leg. And then you're going to reach and extend with the palms pressing forward. And make a circle as you circle around and come back up. Keep both legs straight as you do this. So only go as far as you can and make sure your palms are pressing forward. And do the best you can to keep your arms right alongside your ears, lifting up and stretching and extend and come around. Once you come back up to center, hold here, and then we're going to go to the other side. So you're going to turn to the left, extend over towards that left leg, and reach the palms towards the front and circle it around. Come all the way up. Take your turn here to the left and stretch it over. And one more time. Both legs remain straight. And once you come back up, both arms are alongside your ear. Release both arms all the way down. And let's roll the shoulders back and down. A few more of these, rolling the shoulders. So we're already in a position now where we can take our legs into a warrior two position. So let's bring both arms all the way up alongside the ears, turning the left foot towards the front of your mat. So the short end of your mat, make sure the whole foot is facing the short end, not the corner. And then open your arms and bend your left leg at the knee. You may want to make sure that your legs were wide enough so that when you bend your leg, your knee is over your ankle. Soften the shoulders and gaze down the fingers of your left hand. And breathe here. So really draw the navel in. Remember, with warrior poses, warrior two poses, you don't want to reach with your hand. You want to feel the energy in through the inner thigh, pressing and grounding through the edge of your right foot. And breathe here. And from here, let's take it into a warrior one. So we're going to take the right hand towards the left. Now we want to draw that right hip forward to face the front of the mat. So you're going to turn those toes so that they face more to the right corner of the mat, keeping the left leg bent. The hips are forward and the arms extend up. Stretch through your fingers and breathe here. So your right heel is pushing down. You want to feel that you're pulling your right hip forward and pulling your left hip back. Squeeze your navel into the back of the spine. And then from here, open both arms out to the side, and let's turn towards that long edge of the mat again, and turn your right foot to the back of your mat, the longer part of the shorter part of your mat, and bend your right leg. So your heel of the right foot should line up with the instep of your left foot as you take it right into your warrior two on the right side. Make sure your pelvis is pressing down, your thighs parallel to the floor as best as you can get it. And then we're going to take the left arm and draw it towards the right as we adjust that back left foot to make sure the hips are facing towards the short end of your mat. And raise your arms up. Pull your shoulders down, reach and extend. Gaze should be up. Really extend down through the left heel. Squeeze your inner thighs together. And bring both arms out. And once again, we're going to turn so that the toes are angled once again to the long side of your mat. Bring both hands behind you, interlace your fingers. Stretch your knuckles down. Lift your chest. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Keep stretching all the way up. Let those knuckles stretch up towards the ceiling. And drop your head. Pull your shoulders away from the ears. So the hamstrings are now stretching out. And breathe here. Deep inhale and exhale. Pull your belly in. Come up. Long spine. Hinge from your hips. As you come up, we're going to take a little back bend. Lift your chest. And then return center. Take both arms all the way up. We're going to turn to a lunge on the left foot, and you're going to bring the hands down on either side of your left foot. You're going to take that right foot, and you're going to bring that right hip towards the floor as you roll onto the ball of your right foot. So now you're in this lunge position. Keep your right hand next to your left toe. You can use the block. We're going to open into a twist. So you can keep your right knee off the mat if that feels comfortable. And the left arm is going to open up and reach to the ceiling, and you're going to press back through that right heel. If this is too much, bring your knee down. So don't feel that you have to force yourself to do it just because this is maybe what I'm doing. Do what you feel you're able to accomplish, and eventually with practice you'll find the strength and more of that flexibility and balance too, so that you can take that leg off the floor, the knee off the floor. And then from here, we're going to bring the left hand down. You're going to remove your block, and we're going to step the right foot forward, switching it out so the left leg is going to go back. So step your left leg back so that you're in a high lunge position. Make sure that your right thigh is parallel to the mat. Left heel is pushing back, and switch out so that the block comes right to the big toe side of your foot. Whatever height you need, but you want to feel that you're rotating out from that right hip. Right thigh stays parallel to the mat. Stretch the arm forward and rotate, open the chest. Look up towards your right thumb and breathe. Soften the shoulders. Make sure that you're breathing deeply in and out through the back of your throat. You want to hear the breath flowing through your throat area. You're breathing through your nose. And bring both hands down on either side of your right foot. Let's take it back to a down dog. So the right leg is going to go back. Lifting your hips. Drop your head to the floor. Press your heels to the mat. 2 breaths here. Deep inhale. And exhale. Another deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's lower down onto the knees. Take it right into a tabletop position. So make sure your palms are directly under your shoulders and the knees are under your hips. So we're going to extend the left leg back. As the left leg extends back, keep that left hip square to the mat and raise your right arm extended forward alongside your ear. We're going to reach back with that right hand and bend the left leg at the knee. See if you can find the top of your foot. Pull that left hip down and then push the heel away from your left buttock. and breathe. Nice deep inhale and exhale, finding balance. Try to really feel that you can lift out of that left hand. Feel as if you're trying to float your body off the floor, off your mat. And then let the leg extend back and the arm move forward. Reach up, inhale, bend your leg and bring it in towards your chest as your elbow tries to touch the knee. And reach and extend. Again, finding your balance. And pull it in. And reach and extend. And again, pulling it in. Let's hold it here for 3, 2, 1. And reach and extend again. And lower the palm. Take that knee back under your hip. Going to the other side. Right leg extends back, draw the hip down to the floor. Try to really square the hips down. So you don't want to turn your leg out. You don't want to turn your hip out. And you don't have to lift the leg that high. If you pull your right hip down, it lowers the leg. Once you find your balance, let the left arm extend alongside the left ear. I'm going to bend that right leg at the knee. Pulling the heel into the buttock and sweep the left arm around. Left hand finds the top of your foot. So maybe it takes you a while to get it. Once you do, turn that right hip down to the floor and then push your foot away from your butt. Make sure you're staying with your breath. Breathe in and out through your nose. Try to find your steady balance. Feel lifting out of that right hand, trying to raise your palm and your knee off the mat, feeling that lightness. Reach, extend the arm and the leg forward and back. And then bend your leg, bring the elbow in to touch your knee. And reach and extend. And again, pull the elbow to touch your knee. And reach, extend. And again, as you pull in, I'm going to hold it here for 3, 2, 1, and extend, reach, and lower the palm. Take the knee down. Let's just take a little rest here, child's pose. So bring your big toes to touch. Take your knees out to the side. Lower your tailbone to the heels. Just rest for a few breaths. Take a moment just to absorb what you've done so far. Not judging, maybe recognizing that some things are more challenging than others. But you're on your own journey, so just accept wherever you are. So from here, I want you to stay with your tailbone pressing towards your heels. Spread your fingers wide, really get those arms to go nice and straight. Then lower your forearms down. As you come up, you want to lift your hips. Bring your knees under your hips. And you're going to slide yourself forward and lift up into a cobra. So once you're coming into the cobra, push all 10 toenails down into the floor. And just squeeze your shoulder blades. Try not to use your hands to lift you. Just feel that you're lifting up with your back muscles. And then place your hands down to the floor. And let's take it back into a child's pose. Again, bring the big toes to touch. Draw your forehead down to the mat. And then look forward. Take your forearms down. Bring your butt up towards the ceiling. And slide it forward again as you lift your chest. Press into the toenails. So you're going to push down into the toenails. Feel your thighs lifting, your knees lifting. Your back is doing the work. And then from here, let's press it up into a down dog. So as you come into your tabletop, curl your toes and lift up. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Let's take our right leg, raising it all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to lunge that right foot in between the hands. And then take your left foot to meet it. And just keep your legs about hip distance apart, taking yogi toe lock. So the first 2 fingers and the thumb are going to wrap around your big toe. So make sure that you have the ability to find your toes. So if you have socks on, you should take them off. You want to lengthen on your inhale and then fold on your exhale. Let the elbows splay out to the sides. As you fold forward, keep thinking of sending your tailbone back and up and pulling your navel into the back of the spine and pulling the shoulders away from the ears. So we don't want to round and hunch. We don't want to round the back. We want to pull the shoulders back, pull the navel in and feel that you're tucking your tail under. That will allow the back to remain straight. Then from here, take an inhale, lengthen, pull in a little closer as you exhale, trying to press your chest to the side. Try to let your nose touch your knees. Feel that stretch opening in through the back of the legs. Inhale, lengthen. Let's take the arms out in T position. We're going to come all the way up. As we lift up, follow your hands up towards the ceiling and bring your hands to prayer. And then follow the hands as they come to the center of your heart, chin to chest. And just let your eyes close. Once again, noticing where you are in your practice, how you're feeling. Is your breath smooth and even, or are you feeling that you're losing control? Anytime that you do feel you need a rest, take child's pose. So child's pose is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that we understand when our body needs a rest. So sometimes our body needs to rest a lot during our practice, especially if you're new to your practice. And from here, let's bring our chin level with the mat and let your eyes open. So we're going to take it into a balancing pose. So you want to really find that you're grounding through your feet. So shift the weight over into your left leg and just really let that left foot create a foundation. So maybe lift your toes off the floor and then just place the toes back down. So really connect to that mat with your left foot, feeling the arch of your left foot, lifting up. And keep your left leg straight. You're going to raise your right leg up, interlacing the fingers around your right shin. So do the best you can as you pull that leg in. Keep your tailbone tucked under. And try to pull the thigh in as close to your chest as you can. So you don't want to bring your chest down towards the leg. You want to try and pull the leg up to your chest. So work on keeping the shoulders directly over your hips and pulling in. And breathe. Keep tucking the tail under. Keep the spine nice and straight. And let's release that right foot down and shake out that left leg. Maybe you feel a little tension in that left leg. Shake the foot. And then come back with your legs about hip distance apart. Switching sides. Just let the toes on your right foot raise up, pushing down into the ball mound of your right foot, lifting the arch. So lengthen out through that whole right leg. Switching over, feel that you're trying to almost raise that right foot up as you lift the body away from the ankle. And then slowly take your left leg up, interlacing the fingers around the shin. So you may have to round back to hold the shin, but once you have it, you want the back to go nice and long. So you want to pull the thigh into your chest and keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. So just practicing balance in this way starts to strengthen your ankles so that eventually when you take other poses that are standing on one leg, you'll be able to maybe change the position of the leg or go into some of the more intense or challenging balance poses. And then let's release that foot down. And if your right leg needs a little shake, or your ankle, your foot, just shake it out. So we're going to come right to the top of the mat, separating your legs about hip distance apart. And we're just going to roll ourselves down. So pull your belly in, soften in the knees, draw your chin to the chest, rolling down, let the arms hang, coming into ragdoll. So feel your arms very weightless. Feel as if you have weights on the tips of your fingers that are drawing your hands and your whole body towards the floor. If your hands touch, just keep folding, but don't let yourself put any pressure on your hands. Just let the arms still feel as if they're hanging, as if you have a lot of space to let the hands rest. Knees are slightly bent, and just let your head hang, and shake your head yes, shake your head no, opening the neck. And then let's clasp the hands, take the pinkies into the creases of the opposite elbows. So we're going to hold on to the elbows, and we're going to sway it out from side to side. Just loosening up the hips, getting any tension, any tightness out of the legs in the hip area. And then let your arms just collapse down. And from here, straighten your legs as you inhale, long spine, arms out in T, hinge from your hips. Let's come all the way up. Bring your hands together. And as your hands touch, follow the thumbs to the center of your heart and then bow forward and plant your hands to the floor, taking it back into a plank position. So make sure your shoulders are over your palms. And when you're in your plank, you want to not be too high up with your butt, and you don't want to be collapsing too far down with your hips. So pull your shoulders back, tuck your tail under, and breathe here. So let's see if we can take a little micro bend with the elbows, but not letting them sway out to the side, but pulling them into the rib cage. Keep pushing back through your heels, tucking your tail under. Little micro bend in your elbows. Notice the challenge. Then straighten again. Both arms are straight. Little micro bend again in the elbows, pulling them into the chest area so that they're not out to the side. You want to hug them in, and your shoulders are still over your palms. Then bring your knees down to the floor, take your heels into your butt, point your toes, and then lower your chest all the way down in between the hands. Straighten your legs and just slide yourself back so that your face is on your mat. And once you're there on your belly, just let your forehead rest. Keep your arms close to your body. And so wherever you feel comfortable, take a moment just to notice your breathing. When you're here, you can really feel your breath. You can feel your heart beating. And then let your elbows lift. Slide your hands so that they come right by your chest. Elbows are lifted. You're going to push up into up dog. So just let your forehead raise up. Don't tilt your head back. Just lift your forehead, lift your chest. Push into your hands and keep your shoulders from hunching forward. So squeeze your shoulder blades together. So maybe you don't get up that high. Maybe your elbows can't straighten. But if you can and keep the shoulder, you can keep the shoulders back away from the ears, you can lift up. And then really try and come onto your the toenails and push in and lift the chest. Your thighs are lifted, your hips are lifted. And then if you're feeling that you want to go a little further, you can curl your toes and push your heels back to lift your knees. So if that's too intense, bring the knees back down, flatten the toes. You can even lower the hips. Just take it to where you're comfortable. And then let's push back into child's pose. As your big toes touch, open your knees wide and lower your forehead down to the mat. And just breathe here. Nice deep inhale and exhale. So let's come back up onto all fours. Palms under the shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to take the legs, slide them out to one side, sit down onto your buttocks. And let's scoot ourselves all the way to the front of the mat. So let your legs stay about hip distance apart. So maybe a fist distance. If you took your fist, you want to have it maybe a little wider than your fist. Keep your back nice and long, and then extend your arms forward and pull your navel into the back of the spine. So you're going to come into a pelvic tilt. You're going to slide your pelvis under, draw the navel into the back round, chin into the chest. And as you start to slowly lower yourself down, feel each vertebra slowly connecting to the mat. Roll down as slow as you can. Try not to hold your breath. So breathe nice and slow. Once your whole back comes to the floor, just rest your head, bring your arms down alongside you, and straighten your legs. So just rest here. Close your eyes. Maybe you can actually feel your heart beating. So we're going to work and continue working a little bit on getting the abdominals to strengthen. So from here, legs are about hip distance apart. Flex your feet and extend the arms up towards your ears. So you want to reach your arms to the back of your mat or way over your head. Now we're going to roll ourselves up. So you're going to really squeeze your belly in. As you roll yourself up, you want to try not to really force yourself. You want to try and roll up as best you can. Reach up, get long through your spine. Then imagine someone's pulling your fingers all the way forward, way beyond your toes. Don't go to reach your toes, but reach way above your toes. Come back and then find that flat back and then begin to round again. Pull the belly in. As you're coming back, slowly take it down one vertebra at a time. Chin stays in, and let your arms float all the way back alongside your ears. Now let's do that again. Once the arms come down, roll it up. Nice and slow. Flex your feet, lengthen out from your hips. Reach the fingers way beyond your toes. Forward. Reach, reach, reach. Keep your belly in. Then come back up. Shoulders stack over the hips. Then start to roll down. Slowly taking one vertebra at a time to the mat. Both arms extend back. And final one, lift the arm, roll it up, flex your feet, get long through your spine, reach out with those fingers, go a little further, imagine someone's pulling your fingers, and come back up. And then from here, bend both legs at the knees, gonna lift up into boat pose. So if you really need to, you can hold behind your side, but if you have the ability, just lift your feet, get your side calves come parallel to the floor, holding in your boat pose. Reach the arms, extend them all the way up, and see if you can continue to hold here. So core strength, shoulders down away from the ears. Keep those elbows in towards your ears. Keep the knees towards each other. Feel that belly pulling in. And then reach the arms forward once again. Straighten your legs. So coming into your boat, maybe extending the legs straight. If you can't, keep them bent. Place your feet down to the floor and cross your legs as your hands come onto your knees. Circle your body around, nice circle. And circle it around, taking it the opposite direction. And then let's make sure that you're more towards the back of your mat. Extend both legs out. We're going to take the right leg, folding it in. So you're going to bend your right leg, pull the heel in towards your right buttock. And so we're going to take the left hand and we're going to reach it around the pinky side of your foot so that the left hand comes to the top of your left foot around by the pinky side of the foot. So we want to try and sit up as tall as we can. So if you need to, you can let the left foot bend, left leg bend to support you. And then we're going to just let the right foot lift. Now try to keep from letting the knee go out to the side or the right foot from crossing over. So start to straighten the leg. So if you're not that flexible, you might not be able to straighten the leg. So just do the best you can. Keeping that right leg straight. And we're going to take the right arm forward, open the arm up towards the ceiling, reach the fingers up, and then open your chest as you reach the right arm back. So you don't want to be all hunched in here. So keep pulling the thigh into your chest, and don't worry about whether your leg is straight. You want to make sure the leg does not cross over to the left side. And just keep the shoulders down for a little twist here. Bring the right hand back, and then let your right foot lower. Switching sides. So your right hand is going to come to the top of your left foot, wrapping around the pinky side of the foot. You want to sit up tall and then start to let the foot press forward. So make sure that your back stays straight. So don't force the leg to go straight by rounding your back. If you have to keep your knee bent, keep your knee bent. And pull your belly in. And make sure the left foot doesn't cross over to the right. And so from here, once you have that leg wherever it's comfortable, take your left arm forward, reaching it back, and shoulders are down. So again, you don't want to be hunching and rounding, so do the best you can. Even if you're pulling that left side in, feel that your back is long and you're not crunching your shoulder into your ear. And then let the left hand come back. And lower the left foot down. And then from here, just scoot to the front of your mat and just lie down onto your back. Take your feet wider than your hips, so about the width of your mat. Open your arms out in T and windshield your wipers Windshield wiper your legs from one side to the other. Just let yourself loosen up the hips. And the next time you go over to the left side, just let your legs let go there. Just relax. Let the knees fall gently over to the left. Raise your legs back up and let your knees gently reach down, falling gently to the right. And slowly coming back up. And then heel toe your feet together. Let's bring our knees into our chest. We're going to open the knees out wide. There's a little bit of wide. We're going to straddle, take a wide bent leg position here. So you're in like a tabletop position, but your knees are way open for happy baby. Reach to hold your ankle, but you want to squeeze your lower back into the floor. You don't want your tailbone to lift. So really press your sacrum down to the mat. If you need to lift your head to reach up, that's fine, but you don't want to have your head up the whole time, so bring your head down. Pull your knees in towards your armpits and keep pressing your sacrum right down into the floor. So you don't want your tailbone to lift up. You're getting a stretch in through the inner thighs and through the groin. And breathe here. Rock your baby side to side. Nice gentle movement and rocking. And then stopping the rock, let both feet come down to the floor, loosening up the hips a little bit. So let's take that right leg, extend it up to the ceiling, and we want that right knee to kind of open out to the side. So just turn the knee out to the side, and then reach your right hand to the pinky side of your right foot. If you can't reach it, you can hold to the ankle, but you want your head to stay down. So once you have it, you can bring your left hand and then interlace the fingers around that pinky side of your foot. And then pull the foot over right above your chest as you keep that right knee out to the side. Left foot is staying flat, and then gently pull that right foot in towards your chest. Start to notice where you feel that in your right hip. And then just close your eyes. Breathe where you are. Notice the intensity of the stretch. Keeping your eyes closed as you breathe, you may all of a sudden notice that the hip just gives away, releases, and the foot gently falls a little closer to your chest. Don't force it. Just be observant of what happens when you're holding it and when you're breathing. Just notice, maybe you'll feel that foot continuing to come closer. So if we're patient with ourselves, we can start to feel, just by holding it for a while, we can feel that hip opening up a little. And then release, extend the leg straight up, flex the foot, and you're going to let the arms come down alongside you and let your right leg slowly lower. And once your right leg comes down, keep your belly pulled into the back of the spine. Let that right leg go straight and keep flexing the foot, and then just let it hover about an inch off the mat. Pull your belly in. Let it just hover. Keep feeling the flex through that foot. Let it hover. And then bend the leg, bring the foot flat to the floor. So now we're going to take the left leg up. So the left leg is going to lift, and you want that left knee to kind of open out to the side. So the thigh turns open, the left thigh opens out to the left. And then you can reach up with your left hand, so if you need to raise your head, pull to the pinky side of the foot, and then let your head come back down. Start to reach up with your right hand, see if you can interlace the fingers. If you can hold the outside of your foot, you can hold the ankle, but you want that left knee to really open out to the side. Try to get the foot directly over your chest. Right foot is flat, right knee is bent. And then just start to ease your foot towards your chest until you really feel that resistance. But don't feel that you have to force it. Just guide your foot closer. And when you feel that resistance, just close your eyes and breathe. And hopefully you'll notice the same sensation that the hip just starts to open up on its own. Or maybe this side is very tight and it doesn't really seem to open up, or maybe it's looser than the other side. So our observation of what we're experiencing is important so that we know what we're dealing with when we're moving through our practice. And just maybe guide that foot even a little closer. Maybe you've gotten it further than you ever thought you would. So being patient and just staying with your breath really helps to open up those tight areas. And then send the leg straight up. And keep your right leg bent. You're going to flex the foot and just let that left foot lower down and the left leg lower down. And you want the leg to just hover. So keep the foot flexed so that the leg stays nice and straight. So you don't want to let your leg rest on the floor. You want it to hover, and you want to feel your navel pulling into the back of the spine. So working a little bit on our abdominal muscles, just keeping that leg lifted. And then bend the leg, let your foot come flat to the mat. Hug both knees into your chest and rock side to side. So we're going to continue a little bit more with the abdominals. So let's bring the feet flat onto the floor. And now really make sure that your lower back is pressing into the mat. So make sure your tailbone is tucked under and your lower back is pushing down. Keep your arms alongside you. And now bring your knees back into your chest, keeping the legs open about hip distance apart. And keep your feet flexed. Now you want your knees, just your knees, to extend forward. So you're just going to send your knees forward, and then you're going to lift your feet so that they come up in alignment with your knee. Your ankles are lined up with your knees, and your knees are directly above your hips. So when you pull the thighs into your chest, your knees are more over your chest, but you want your knees to go forward so that they remain over your hips. This is going to require that you really engage your abdominal muscles. So before you even start, you might want to first keep the knees into your chest, pull the belly into the back of the spine so that you're squeezing your abdominals. And you're going to keep squeezing your abdominals as you keep those knees just hovering over the hips. The heels are in alignment with the knees, and the knees are directly above the hips. Soften your feet and keep the legs at tabletop position. Bring your arms right down alongside you if they're not already there, and really feel that your belly is pulling into the back of the spine. So if you're holding this pose, you should be feeling that your abdominal muscles are working. If you're not feeling it, then it's probably because your knees aren't further forward. They should be further forward. So keep that belly sucking into the back of the spine. We're going to just start to lower the toes on the right foot down to the floor. So we're going to do it for 15 counts. So you want to take it down to the big toe to touch the floor when you hit 15. So we're going to start by lowering now. So we're going to lower 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Toe touches and then lift up for 15. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left side, lowering down for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the toe touches, lifting back up for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Option, you can keep your legs here for 15 more counts, or if you need to, hug them in. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, One, and hug in. Rock it out side to side. Always make sure that you keep pulling that belly in so your lower back is protected. Then bring your feet flat to the floor. And send your left leg straight out. Bring your right knee into the chest. Take hold of the outside of your right knee with your left hand. Bring your right arm in T position, shoulder down. Inhale, navel pulls into the spine. Exhale, right knee goes over to the left side of your mat, keeping your right shoulder down. And once your leg goes over, turn your gaze to look over the right to the right fingers and close your eyes. So as you close your eyes, just go deep into this twist. Watch your breath. Watch your leg maybe letting go a little deeper, a little lower to the floor. And then return your head center. Slowly bring that right leg up and bring that right foot down. Make any adjustments and let the left leg come in. Send the right leg straight out onto the floor. Hold to the outside of your left knee with your right hand. Left arm comes out in T position. Draw your navel into the spine. Inhale, and on your exhale, let that knee gently cross over to the right side of your mat as your left shoulder stays grounded to the floor. And once your leg is over, gaze over to the left fingertips. Close your eyes and just let your body enjoy this beautiful twist. And inhale, bring your head center. Exhale, slowly take that left leg back up and hugging both knees slowly into your chest. Rock it out nice and slow, side to side. And let's slowly place the feet down to the floor and we'll prepare for relaxation. So if you need to put any warm clothing on, you can do that now. If you're fine where you are, just extend your legs out. Make sure the legs are hip distance apart, the feet flop out to the sides, the arms open away from the torso. Let your shoulder blades draw together, feel your chest expand, and then relax your shoulders. Closing your eyes. Make sure your chin is not way up towards the ceiling and you're not arching through that upper neck, the upper part of your neck. So you want your neck to be straight and keep your chin more into the chest. And just let your eyes close. As you close your eyes, take notice of what you're experiencing in your body, trying to let the body let go of anything that it's holding on to now. Feeling very much relaxed and peaceful. Take time to find acceptance of your practice. So when we invite in this acceptance, we kind of let go and just surrender to what is. We don't have to feel that we're perfect. We just do the best we can, and doing the best we can is our own perfection. So relax and inviting in that breath as it flows slowly and gently in and out of your body. The body becomes relaxed and peaceful. Noticing your breath as it rises and falls. Rises and falls. Rises and falls. Feel more and more relaxed as you continue to stay connected to your breath. Continuing to invite in peace, invite in harmony, calm. And just relax. without moving. Just be mindful of your breath. Feel yourself relaxed and at peace. And then begin to slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes, taking your time to ease your way back into this present moment. Noticing how you're feeling as you become more and more aware of your physical body. Rotate the ankles and the wrists. And then take a nice deep breath in and stretch your arms all the way over your head as you exhale out any sigh, sounds, or moans. Get a beautiful deep stretch, stretching out your body. And then hug your knees and pull them into your chest. Slowly rocking it out from side to side. Nice gentle massage on your lower back. And roll yourself all the way over to the right side of your mat. Letting your head rest gently onto your inner right arm. Let your left hand rest in front of your chest on the floor. And just remain here. Be with your stillness. Be with your peace. Just knowing that taking time to practice gives yourself permission to just take your own journey. Practice is what increases our strength and our flexibility and our focus. And with that, we become more open to what is, not allowing the mind to get in the way of our progress. So if we start thinking negatively, we're moving that negative feelings and sensations into our body, because when we take those negative thoughts, they always affect the body negatively. So try to do the best you can to move them aside, even if you can't think positive. Just do the best you can. And with your left hand pushing into the mat, slowly guide yourself back up and come into a seated position with your legs crossed. Let's bring the hands onto the knees. Sit up tall, feeling your sits bones grounded. And once again, taking whatever position feels natural. Easy pose, half lotus, full lotus. And close your eyes. Just being mindful of this moment. Breath, once again. Rising and falling. And when you choose to do a meditation, you could just sit in this posture and just watch your breath as it rises and falls. And then if the mind wanders away, you bring it back, just watching the rise and fall. So let's complete our practice by drawing the hands in prayer, thumbs to the center of the heart. And we'll close with one Om. Take a nice deep breath in. Om. And slowly and gently lower your chin to your chest as you bow to the light and love that shines within you. Know that that light and love shines brightly within each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And we'll see you next time. Have a good evening.